lately. I've been talking to so many people who are just like, my anxiety is through the roof. It's out of control. I don't know what to do about it. And I just wanted to give my perspective on it because I actually really love talking about this. I don't love that people have anxiety, but I really like to talk about kind of where it comes from and why we're experiencing it. So, I have dealt with anxiety myself, especially when I was younger. And if you've been listening to me at all, you probably know that I healed a lot of that through breath work, but it's an ongoing process. And we always deal with anxiety in some way, whether it's, stuff that's happened in the past or current circumstances in our lives. So today I just want to talk a little bit about where it's coming from, and especially right now because there are so many people that are experiencing it, right? No matter what your circumstances are during this quarantine, we all are experiencing this feeling of the unknown, right? Where we're not sure exactly how things are going to turn out. We're not sure exactly what's going to happen or what life is going to look like at the end of this, and we don't know what to expect. And for a lot of us, when we don't know what to expect, we feel fear, right? Because we can't predict the outcome and it feels like we're kind of like out of control, right? So for a lot of us, all of these feelings start to kind of bubble up and we experience them as anxiety. But what can happen a lot of times is we have feelings all the time and we don't always give ourselves the space to actually feel those feelings, right? So from a young age, we're taught that feelings are inconvenient, uncomfortable. It might not be safe to express them. And I see a lot of times, especially because I have worked with a lot of kids in the past, I see that they don't really have a model for someone who expresses their feelings in a healthy way or who has a healthy relationship to their feelings. So none of us really get to see what it's like to actually express your feelings because so much of this messaging that we're getting from society is like, don't feel your feelings, hold them in, suppress them, don't show them. So none of us really are seeing a lot of people express their feelings in a healthy way. So, we just don't have that modeling. We don't have that messaging. So sometimes we're not sure exactly how to deal with our feelings. So we don't really allow ourselves to feel them fully. We might do something to distract ourselves or do something to numb ourselves out so we don't really have to fully go into the feelings that we're experiencing. And we're experiencing feelings all the time, right? Our feelings are kind of like these messengers that are giving us information about our reality. So if we're feeling fear, if we're feeling unsureness or uncertainty, sometimes we kind of just like push those things down, but those are really giving us information about our environment, right? It's like a survival instinct. So those feelings are there to teach us. They're there to tell us something, but we don't always listen, right? And then when we push them down, it's not like they just go away, right? They're waiting there. They're sitting and waiting there to be felt. And every situation, every experience that we have, every feeling that we have has an energy to it, right? And if we don't allow ourselves to fully experience it, they kind of wait there for us to experience them, right? They kind of just sit there and wait. But when it happens so many times that we have these feelings that we don't allow ourselves to experience fully, and they kind of start accumulating, right? So we have a feeling, we kind of stuff it down. We have another feeling, we kind of stuff it down, and we do that over and over and over again. What ends up happening is that they start to accumulate, and then they start to kind of bubble up, right? And if you think about the feeling of anxiety, that's what it is. It's like a bubbling up of feelings. When you think about how you feel when you're anxious, you're like nervous, right? You have a lot of this energy and you don't know what to do with it, and your mind starts racing, you feel uncomfortable. It's really just the accumulation of those feelings that are like bubbling up to the surface, right? They're saying, hey, here I am. I need you to feel me. I need you to fully experience this so that it can begin to integrate and start to dissipate. And when I say integrate, what I really mean is when you allow yourself to fully experience something, it doesn't have a charge around it anymore. It kind of becomes neutralized because you allowed yourself to have the experience. So if you ever remember a time where you were really scared to do something and then you finally actually did it, afterwards you're not really scared anymore because you allowed yourself to fully go into that fear, to fully experience that fear, and then it doesn't seem so scary anymore. And it's the same way with feelings. When you allow yourself to fully experience them, they integrate and they go away. They kind of dissipate. So when you allow yourself to fully feel, oh, hi, Aunt Mary. When you allow yourself to fully feel, these feelings begin to fall away and the anxiety will start to dissipate. So how do you allow yourself to fully feel, right? Well, breath work is such an amazing way to do this because you are literally laying there and breathing and giving yourself the space to feel your feelings, and you're allowing yourself to experience them through the breath so that they can start to dissipate. So what happens in a breathwork session when you lay down to breathe is that you start moving the air throughout the body, right? The air starts moving and the energy starts moving. So all of that stuck energy, all of those feelings that are kind of like waiting beneath the surface to be felt, they start to bubble up and they start to bubble up, and then you allow yourself to feel them, and then they dissipate. And you might feel it as like an emotion. You might feel it as just a physical feeling. It doesn't really matter. It's just you're giving yourself the space to feel those feelings so that they can dissipate and they can release from the body. So what I'm offering right now that I'm really excited about is my 90-minute anxiety cure, which is 45 minutes of breath work where you lay down to breathe, and like I said, you give yourself the space to feel these feelings. And then it's 45 minutes of talking to me where I tap into your energy. I see exactly where you're holding the energy of the anxiety, and then I'll guide you to release it during the breath work. This is just really something I wanted to offer people right now because I know so many people are dealing with anxiety, and this is just a 90-minute powerful session where you can really begin to release and let go and change your perspective on it, right? Because so much of this is just the way that you look at yourself and the way that you look at your feelings. So this is really, really powerful. Hi, everyone. Hi, Annie. So this is just a really, really powerful session that will help you release some of that anxiety in a quick way so you can start to feel better and start to look at things differently and have a different outlook on things, because so much of this, like I said, is your perspective. So that's basically it. I just wanted to talk more about anxiety. I'm going to be coming on a few times this week to talk about this and answer any questions if people have them. But I have only 2 spaces left for my 90-minute anxiety cure. So please reach out to me to schedule. I'm scheduling them for next week only. So please reach out to me to do that. Or if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.